Today we're in the beautiful capital of Texas.
And Austin is known for its diverse cultures, and with that brings some amazing eats, whether it's a brick and mortar or a food truck. And we're here to check out some of those places.
Yes.
Okay guys, so we've made it to our first stop on this food tour, and we're here at Joe's Bakery. And it's been around for over 62 years. And it's known for their Tex-Mex cuisine. And just recently, last year in 2023, they won a James Beard Award for America's Classics. And we are super excited to try their food. So I actually started out with something that is really popular here in the state of Texas, breakfast tacos. And I got 3 tacos. I got the chorizo and egg taco, a barbacoa taco, and a carne guisada taco. And I'm super excited. What about you, Jose?
Now, what I decided to go with was the menudo. If you're not familiar with menudo, it is a traditional Mexican dish which consists of tripe, which is the stomach lining of the cow, as well as hominy, which is a dried maize kernel. As you can see here, I'm putting on some lime. It just helps to cut through the fattiness of the caldo, which is basically the soup base of the dish, and it adds a little bit of a zing to it as well. Now, normally I'm not a fan of uncooked or basically raw onion, but when it comes to menudo, it just adds a nice little crunch and a freshness to the dish as well. So yeah, with menudo, I'll eat the uncooked or basically raw onion. Now, this dish was fantastic. It was perfectly cooked. The hominy had a nice texture. The tripe was nice and tender. The soup base or the caldo had such a great flavor. Man, this was so good.
My turn. So this first taco that I'm trying is the chorizo taco. And chorizo is usually made with ground pork. I'm not too sure what seasonings or spices are put in chorizo, but I will tell you the chorizo here at Joe's Bakery was absolutely packed with flavor. I appreciated the ratio of the chorizo to the egg. It wasn't one ingredient overpowering another. It was a great balance. And I also love the fact that their chorizo was not oily. It sometimes gets frustrating to eat chorizo when it comes out super greasy, but these tacos here in their chorizo were superb. So this next taco that I'm gonna try is the carne guisada. And carne guisada is a beef stew. It's usually made with chunks of beef that have been seasoned and spiced and then slowly simmered in a tomato-based gravy. This carne guisada was absolutely amazing. Here at Joe's Bakery, they actually don't use chunks of beef. They actually use chunks of pork instead. And this pork was absolutely succulent. It was so tender. It was so juicy. And the flavor of that pork that brought in with all of the seasonings and the spices and the gravy itself was just amazing. I absolutely loved it.
Now, Michelle got the chance to try some amazing breakfast tacos. Just look at the juice dripping off this bad boy. Now, what I decided to go with was the barbacoa taco. Now, if you're not familiar with barbacoa, it is actually made from beef tongue normally. You can actually do also beef cheek, as well as the meat from the head of the cow, but normally it's done with beef tongue. Now, this was very flavorful, tender, juicy. The meat has been shredded, so it's very easy to chew. It didn't really require anything to get any flavor out of this taco at all. Now, what I wanted to do was to try the salsa that they had provided for this taco, or just the tacos in general. And what I got from this was a little bit of heat. It wasn't very overwhelming. So if you're okay with a little bit of heat, this is gonna go great on your breakfast tacos. Now, it just obviously provides a little bit of freshness when it comes to the vegetables used for this. But this taco was amazing. And the really cool part was, number one, this is very juicy when it comes to barbacoa, and the tortilla held up extremely well. It was perfect texture to go along with the taco itself. Oh, it was fantastic. Okay, so a little bit of a change of scenery. We all know the copyright issues with YouTube, so we wanted to finish up this portion here in the car. Now, Joe's Bakery, other known in Spanish, a panderia, had some items that I saw and I have to try. And the number one item that I used to eat as a kid was their gingerbread, other known as the little piggy. I know it's a weird, but it's literally shaped like a little piggy with a raisin for the eye. So let's go ahead and give this a try. So not only do you have that great gingerbread smell, you also have the flavor. And I feel like because that aroma is so nice and pleasant, that it even helps to bring the flavor out even more. Now, when it comes to texture, it's not cookie texture, but it's also not like fluffy kind of muffiny. I would say if a muffin and a cookie had a baby, that's kind of what the feeling and the texture of this is. Now, again, it's not super overly sweet. It has a nice little sweetness to it, but that gingerbread is very pronounced. So if you like gingerbread, this is going to be the thing for you. I would give this a try because it's great. So that being said, that is the end of this portion. We're going to fast forward because there's other spots we got to try for lunch. So let's get into lunch.
We've made it to our next stop here on our food tour. We are checking out one of Austin's many food truck parks, and we're here at Cosmic Beer and Garden. And there are two food trucks here that we're really interested in checking out today. The first one is a barbecue joint. It's called Leroy and Lewis, and it was voted number 5 on Texas Monthly's Best 50 Barbecue Joints. So we're super excited to check it out because they're doing new school barbecue.
Okay, so they have an amazing spot to eat underneath these gigantic umbrellas, but it is very hot outside right now. The index says it feels like 101 or 102, and I don't do very well. I sweat a lot, so we're obviously going to be here in the car. Now, looking at the menu at L&L, there is a ton of things to choose, but we decided to go with 2 of their items. Okay, so what I decided to go with is going to be the 1 meat with 2 sides. Now, I got the protein, which is going to be the pulled whole hog. Now, when it comes to the actual pulled whole hog, they do everything in-house. That means the processing of the hog itself and everything is used in their dishes. That is very cool to see. And it's also locally sourced. All of their proteins are locally sourced, so hats off to them on that. Now, when it comes to the sides, I went and got the house-made kimchi, which, you know me, love my kimchi. And then on top of that, I got the Texas red chili Frito pie. Comes with onions and cheddar. Ooh, that sounds good. All right, time to get the grub on. Now, I'm going to go ahead and start off with the whole pulled pork first. With no sauce at all. So, and they do have 2 sauces. One is going to be a yellow mustard barbecue sauce. The other one's going to be a beet barbecue sauce. So I'm really interested to try that. So let's go. Okay. Exactly what I would expect from pulled pork. It's juicy. It's tender. It's not overly salty. It does still have that nice porky flavor. But I want to say that more than likely, those barbecue sauces are going to be adding just a little more hint of flavor to that. And I think, obviously, the mustard might be really good with this. So let me go ahead and do a dip in the mustard. It's very juicy and very flavorful. Now, it is on top of a potato bread, but, I mean, come on. You know, the pig is going to be what you're looking for. So let's try the mustard sauce first. And it's a very thick sauce, so it does coat the meat very well. So let's see. Oh, yeah. It pairs perfectly well with that balanced flavoring of the saltiness and the savoriness of the pork. And then that mustard sauce adds a little bit of a zing. That's very good. But now we're going to try the beet barbecue sauce. Beets. I've never had beets and barbecue sauce, so this is going to be a first. Let's try this out. Man, the color is just nice and red. Look at that. Reddish brown. Okay, let's see. Oh, man. I don't know which one I like more now. Okay. Now, I couldn't tell you. Yeah, I do. Okay. I do taste the beets, but it's very subtle. It does have that rich barbecue flavor, the rich thickness of it as well. It's a little sweet, but it's not super sweet. I'm not a fan of super sweet barbecue sauce, but there is a little bit of heat on it, so that's great. I have no idea which one I would rather eat first or which one I would rather pick over the other, but man, it's very, very good. Okay, so on to the sides. Who would have thought that kimchi would be at a barbecue spot? But I'm all for it because kimchi pairs very well with protein, and I absolutely love it. So let's give it a shot. House made. Come on. Oh, man. I don't know. Can you hear the crunch? Very fresh. Has that nice zing and that spice. You can tell that it's fermented. Has a great flavoring. And good enough to eat just solo. You don't want to pair it up with white rice or a protein. Yeah, very, very good kimchi. Now, next is going to be the Texas red chili Frito pie. I don't know where you're watching this. We love Frito pies in Texas. I don't know if you have Frito pies where you're watching this from. So if you haven't had this before, this is definitely something to try. It's going to have the beans. It's going to have Fritos. It's going to give you a nice crunch. So, ooh wee. Okay. Yeah, that's a very thick, which I really like. I'm going to get some protein first, and I'm going to grab some Fritos. Ooh. Okay. Here's some Fritos. Yeah. So we have the fresh cut onions, which I'm not a fan of, but it depends on the item that it's on. When it comes to a Frito pie, I'm totally cool with raw onions. So you have the onions, you have the cheddar, you have what seems to be like burnt ends or chopped up brisket. I'm not exactly sure which one, but the meat's very flavorful, tender, juicy. Then you have your Fritos. I mean, if you haven't had Fritos before, try it out. It's great. It's such a great combination. And normally we would eat this at baseball games and football games, stuff like that. So this is really good.
Jose can't have all the fun. It's my turn. And I decided to go with their L&L burger. So the Leroy and Lewis burger. And the interesting thing about this burger, it's actually made from brisket. All right, so the L&L burger, it's made with smoked brisket formed into a patty. It's got cheese, grilled onions, pickles, and burger sauce, and it's planted nicely in between a toasted potato bun. All right, let's dig into this burger, and oh my gosh, this burger is a hefty boy. Look at that. Super thick. I don't know where I'm going to bite onto it, but we're going to figure it out. Ready? Mmm. Wow. So I can immediately taste the smokiness from that brisket in that first bite. You get that nice smoked flavor. You can definitely taste it's not an ordinary burger, that it's got that brisket that's added to it. And then you start to chew and it mixes in with the cheese. And then you get just a hint of the sweetness from the grilled onions. And I'm not sure what's on that burger sauce, but it's almost kind of like a really light, like barbecue sauce. Not like the barbecue sauce that they had in Jose's plate, but a different kind of sauce. Let me just see if I can just taste the sauce. Ooh. So the sauce has just a little bit of a nice sweetness to it. It almost tastes like their mustard sauce, but a little bit sweeter. It pairs really well overall, all of these flavors into this nice, juicy brisket burger.
So the next stop that we're going to be trying here at this amazing food truck park is called Tommy Want Wingy. I had to do it like that. It is legit the name of the place, Tommy Want Wingy. If you've never seen the movie Tommy Boy, this is not going to be a reference you will get. You need to watch it. It's a great movie with Chris Farley and David Spade. Tommy Boy. All right, so the place is called Tommy Want Wingy. Now, the thing with these wings are they're actually chicken legs that have a French cut where the meat is pulled all the way to the very top, making it juicy, but also making it a chicken lollipop. So that's very cool about this place. Now, there's a bunch of different flavors. I decided to go with the garlic parmesan because I really like garlic on chicken. So we're going to give these a shot. So I don't know if the camera can pick that up because it's dark out here. Man, Texas weather, okay? It was 101, 102 degrees outside. The sun was shining. Now there's a storm rolling in. It's raining and it's super windy. It's like, come on, work with us here. Okay, anyways, let's go ahead and give these a try. These are garlic parmesan. And I can tell you, when Michelle got back with the bag, you could smell all of the spices. So I'm expecting this to be like pronounced. Let's give it a shot. Ooh, it's still kind of hot. Oh, wow. Okay. Now I can see what they say about the chicken lollipop and it retaining a lot of the juice. That's exactly what it does. The garlic parmesan flavoring is very pronounced, which I absolutely love. It is nicely fried where the outside has a crunch to it, but yet the inside of the chicken is still juicy and tender. It still retains that original protein flavor of chicken, but man, oh wow, yeah. I may have to get this from now on. This may be the only way to eat these. This is very good.
My turn. So I got 5 wings, just like Jose. Mine is the lemon pepper. Gonna try it without any sauce, no ranch or anything like that. I'm excited to hear that crunch too. Here we go. Ooh. Wow. You can definitely get whatever flavor that you choose as your sauce or your rub. It definitely comes out right away, but then as you start to chew, you get that definite chicken flavor in there as well, and that crunch. My gosh, it's so good. I love that texture. And then the fact that, like Jose mentioned, that the inside, once you get in a little bit further, you do get that juiciness from that chicken, the way that it's made and cut in this way. Overall, really a delicious chicken wing.
I don't know if you can hear that, but it is raining right now. I'm glad we got our food and get to the car. Okay, so both Leroy and Lewis and Tommy Want Wingy were both great places. And what do you think? Both good to go to, yeah?
You definitely need to check out these two spots here at Cosmic
Beer and Garden.
Yes.
I think they have a few other locations, but I feel like if the weather permits, coming here to this food truck park is really nice. They've got so many tables, so many umbrellas.
It's such a nice little like atmosphere that they have
Yes,
there.
and they've got the misters if you come in the summertime to keep it slightly a little bit cooler. What have you not? Just be careful of the birds.
Yeah, the birds are gonna try to nab the food. I don't know how many times I had to swat away birds to try to keep away from the food.
But overall, a great spot.
Yeah, 100%.
2 great food trucks. On to the next one.
Yeah.
Let's see if Mother Nature cooperates.
Yeah. So we've made it to our next stop, and I am excited.
So our next place has been around in the greater Austin area since 1926.
Yes, that's a very, very long time.
Yes, and it's called Round Rock Donuts. And they are known for their yeast rising donuts.
Yes, yes. Now, they're also known for their donuts not having all the same shape. And the reason to that is
because they're yeast rising, so they can't go through like machines to get processed and like shaped and cut. So they're actually all individually handmade and shaped.
Yeah, so they're all going to be different, kind of like the whole snowflake thing, which I think is pretty cool. Now, the donut we decided to go with is what?
So we're here in Texas. You guys have probably heard the phrase, everything is bigger in Texas. Well, here we go. This is what we got. The Texas size donut.
Yeah, we decided to get the lifesaver size donut. Yeah. I mean, this thing is huge, but don't be fooled by the size of it. It's not very heavy, which I think is pretty cool.
It's actually pretty light because when they handed me the box, I was like, whoa. I was expecting it, honestly, to like be super heavy, but it's super light. And this Texas size donut, it's actually pretty affordable. It's $11.98, and you can actually get it either fully glazed like we did, or fully chocolate glazed, or half and half.
Yeah, and I think the price is perfect because I think this could easily probably feed 4 people if you were to cut it straight down the middle. Now, just to give you a weight comparison, I've gotten, dozen donuts from other places before, and those dozen donuts weigh way more than this. And so I'm interested to see kind of how fluffy this donut's going to be. So
yeah, so let's get into
Let's get into this.
All right, here we go.
There's no way we were going to hold that thing up and try to eat it both at the same time. Not going to happen. Had to tear it off. Have to. Okay. So
here we go.
Let's go.
Ooh.
Oh, wow. That is definitely different.
I feel like it's very light.
It's very, very light. The way that I can describe this to you, it's like if you got a cloud and you just turned it a little orange. That's how light this feels and how light and airy the bread is.
It's a very airy donut, that's for sure. I think that's the reason why when you get it, it feels so super light. Now, Jose mentioned an orange color.
Wow.
And if you guys look at it, it does kind of have like an orange tint to it, but there's no like food coloring or preservatives or anything added to it. The reason why the donuts here look that orange tint color is because they actually use like fresh eggs, and when they're mixing everything all together, it kind of gives it that orange or yellowish tint automatically.
Wow.
Mm.
As you chew, it is so bouncy.
Mm-hmm. It's not dense.
No,
it's not a dense donut
at
all.
No. This is a way different texture than what I've had before in the past. When having just kind of your standard donut, this thing has such a different texture. Now, the outside is glazed, like Michelle said earlier,
Mm-hmm.
and the glaze is not too thick.
No, and it's not too sweet.
Yes, not overly sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Then on top of that, the bread has a little bit of sweetness as well.
I feel like the glaze itself, when you actually bite into it or you pick it apart, it has a nice crumble to it.
Yes, it does.
I can see why people.
Wow.
I can see why people come here. I can see why these donuts have been around since 1926.
Mm-hmm.
They say it's the same recipe since 1926. It has not changed one bit. And you know what? Don't change it. It's great the way that it is.
Oh, 100%. And you can tell. We got here early. There was already lines of people, lines of cars going through like their drive-through system. We were going to film outside to kind of catch some of that. But it's hot out there, man.
It's already high here in Texas. The
It's
humidity is 80%. So you know what? In the car with a little bit of AC and this great donut,
Yeah.
it's a great way.
Yeah, that's why I can tell that this is so popular, and you can just tell by when you start coming over here, all the people. So, yeah, great. But we're going to be getting on to our next stop.
Yeah, we're going to finish this up and then we'll see you in the next one.
Oh, yeah.
We've made it to our final stop on our Austin food tour.
But we're going to send the food tour off with a bang, right? So we are at Las Trancas, which is a street taco place.
Yes, it's a Mexican-style street tacos.
Yes. And there are so many choices, and the smells that are coming out right now smells fantastic.
Yeah, you have a variety of options of proteins
Yes.
to pick from, and I'll say that we are super excited to try the ones that we picked.
Oh, yes. It is time. We need to get into these tacos. The smell is just encapsulating this car. All right, so what did you end up getting?
So I got 3 tacos, and I got the pastor, which is marinated pork. I got chorizo, which is Mexican-style sausage. And then I had to get it because I saw it on the menu. I got barbacoa, which is...
Oh, yes. So it depends on how you want to make barbacoa. It can be made out of multiple different proteins, but the proteins normally are around the head of the cow. So it can be made out of lengua, it can be made out of cheeks, cabeza. There's multiple ways, but yeah, barbacoa.
Barbacoa is barbacoa to me. I love it.
Yes. It's all in the preparation as well. So
what did you get?
Now, the 3 that I decided to go with was going to be the chicharron, which if you don't know what chicharron, that's pork skin. Fantastic. Also went with the lengua, which is cow tongue. And then I went with cabeza, which is the cow head meat, the cheeks, that type of stuff.
Yeah. So let's dig in.
Yeah, let's go ahead. And I'm going to do chicharron first. Now, for those of you that are not familiar with street tacos, the thing with it is they're small tacos and they're small tortillas, but there's 2 of those tortillas. So
it's not a street taco if it's not 2 tortillas.
yeah, it ain't a street taco if it ain't 2 tortillas.
And it's usually topped with onions and cilantro.
Yeah, onion and cilantro. Yeah, which all of them have.
Yep. So here we go.
Yeah. Oh my God. Holy moly. Just look at this.
Wow.
Look at this chicharron. Look at it wiggle. It's dancing for you guys. Oh my Lord.
That's a thick thick amount of skin.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So number one, the chicharron is perfectly cooked. It's nice and juicy. There is indeed a heat on here. If you don't like heat, stay away from the chicharron. That's for sure. But it's tender, it's juicy, it's flavorful. Oh, man. Whatever they have in here knocks it out of the park.
And my chorizo, it's a solid chorizo flavor. That sausage flavor, you can taste like all of the spices. Again, I'm not really 100% sure the spices that go into chorizo, but it's spiced really nice. And when I say spiced, I don't mean spiced like temperature. I mean like spiciness in like heat. Okay. It's just really flavorful. Yeah. And I appreciate that their chorizo, because we've had chorizo in many places, but their chorizo is not actually oily. Sometimes chorizo, when people make it, can come out really oily, but it's really nice. And then I appreciate the flavors of the chorizo. Then you start chewing, you get that nice fresh crunch from the raw onions. Yes. And then that cilantro just adds that nice little touch of you're eating something healthy. Yeah, yeah. Whenever it comes to the onions and the cilantro, they're there to give you either a different texture as well, but to add some freshness to those proteins, because the proteins can be sometimes heavy. Now, if you saw in the B-roll, we did indeed add the limon. The reason for the limon is to help cut through the fattiness of the proteins that you're eating. So do yourself a favor and put that limon on there. Just a nice little citrusy taste, but very, very good. Yeah, that nice little zing to a little bit of that fattiness from all those proteins. Zing. Yes, yes. So now we got to go on to the next taco. Okay, I'm going to be going in for the cabeza. And I'm going to be going for the pastor. Let's go. Cheers. Oh, man. Wow. Okay. My marinated pork, I will say it is a nice marinade. I never know what the marinade is that they put in pastor, but it does usually tends to give it kind of like a red or orange hue. Yeah. But it's very good. It's super flavorful. The pork is nice and tender. You chew a little bit more and a little bit more. After that bite, you get all of the juicy flavor that's coming from that pork. And again, I love the bite of that raw onion and then that touch of cilantro added into there. And the corn tortillas, so you can get it either with corn tortillas or flour tortillas, but a street taco is not a street taco if it's not corn, at least in my opinion. Yeah. But the tortillas, really good corn flavor, and they actually do a really good job at holding all of the proteins in. Their tortillas don't fall apart. Man, also with the cabeza taco, so one of the things about cabeza is you really don't have to add a ton to it to get it to be flavorful. You're going to have that very beefy flavor. So for the taste wise, I feel like they maybe just added a little bit of spice, maybe a little bit of salt, just to bring that beefy flavor out. But it's super tender and super juicy and not very fatty, which I really, really enjoy. And then again, with that citrusy kind of zing on top, and then obviously the cilantro, the onions, just very, very good taco. Really like it. On to our last tacos. Now, last but not least, unfortunately, the third taco, I'm going to be going in for the lengua. And I'm going to be going in for the barbacoa. Okay. Let's go. Yeah. Man, it's so good. This is so good. My barbacoa is super juicy. So, this one does have some spice on it. Not too much, but not spicy. Just spiced up to give it some flavor. You still have the beefiness. It's still tender and juicy. And again, these taco shells or tortilla shells are holding up very well
when it comes to what's coming out of these. It's flavorful. It's tasty. Another winner.
Yeah, I mentioned that my barbacoa is nice and juicy. And sometimes when you're eating street tacos, when there's like a lot of juices that are coming from the protein, sometimes it does a little bit of damage to the corn tortillas, which is one of the other reasons why usually it's doubled up to 2. But I will say that these right here, they're holding up extremely well. I don't know if they're in-house made or anything, but they are very sturdy and really good in their flavor. And again, my barbacoa, I love the texture of barbacoa. I like that it's completely like shredded and it makes it super tender. But again, this barbacoa is very flavorful. You get a nice beefy flavor. And again, the texture with the shredded beef, it's really good.
Oh, yeah. So now we're going to finish the rest of this off, and then we'll give you kind of our overall of our food tour of Austin.
Yep.
Well, unfortunately, that is the end of our little food tour. There's so many, I'm trying to, so many eats in Austin. There's so many.
I feel like we've hit maybe just that much of the Austin food scene here. It's insane how many different food trucks, food truck parks, restaurants, all sorts of things from north, south, east, west. So many places to pick from. It's hard to choose, and it's hard to choose when you only have so much time.
Yeah, and so much stomach.
So much stomach space.
And so much stomach. Okay, so let's go ahead and do a quick rundown of what we thought of the choices and the places that we ended up picking. So number 1, Joe's Bakery. Excellent. Breakfast tacos are a staple here in Texas. We know that they're not all over the nation or all over the place. They're a staple here, and they make amazing breakfast tacos.
Yeah, their tortillas being homemade.
Oh
my gosh.
Buttery, held together so well. Nice bite. Oof.
Yeah, we can totally understand how they won the James Beard Award for American Classic.
Oh, yes. And just by the way, if you decide to go try them out and you are a fan of menudo, menudo was so good.
Yeah. Pro tip, though, when you go to Joe's Bakery, especially if you're going to go on the weekend, they open at 6. Go pretty early, and you'll be able to walk in without a wait. But the longer you wait, the later in the day you wait, it's going to be a wait. At least sometimes 30 to 45 minutes.
Yes. So get there early. Now, the second place that we decided to go to,
Leroy and Lewis.
I mean, just another winner. It's like, never lost. We never lost. Great food. What was like the highlights you thought?
I think that their style of taking barbecue and making it like new school barbecue and making their brisket into a burger patty. That was extremely unique and extremely flavorful.
Oh, it fell apart. It was just so tasty. Now, the thing that I absolutely loved, because that's not normally a side, was the Frito pie that they would give you as a side. That's normally something you would buy that'd be the main entree. And it was spicy. It was flavorful. The chips held up very well. The cheese, great.
Yeah, and again, new school barbecue, kimchi, barbecue together.
What?
Yeah, and their sauces are great. The beet barbecue and the mustard barbecue. You can't go wrong with either one. So try it out, whichever one you like.
Yes. And then, Tommy want wingy.
I don't think I could ever eat chicken wings again unless they are chicken lollipops.
Unless they're chicken lollipops. Such a great way to design, easy to eat, flavorful, juicy, tender.
They were
What else do you want?
They were fried to perfection.
Yes,
guys.
what else do you want from that?
I mean, I can't begin to explain to you the crunch of every single wing. And their ranch, hey.
Oh, that was good ranch.
That was some really good ranch.
It was very good ranch.
The only thing that we regret is that we didn't get any fries.
Yes.
Because we heard their fries were good, but we just have to come back again.
Yes. And then, how about that lifesaver sized? And when I say lifesaver, I'm not talking about the candy. I'm talking about what they throw you if you fall overboard. Yeah. Lifesaver sized donut.
From Round Rock Donuts. Oh,
Holy
my God.
moly.
I mean, that was super fluffy.
Oh, my.
And It is a little bit odd, I guess, when you break apart the donut to see
Yeah.
that it's kind of got that orange
Yeah, you're
hue.
normally used to like that whitish color, yeah.
Mhm,
Or
but
off-white, yeah.
you know what? Superb.
Yes.
Superb, superb, superb. And if you're only going to get one item, go for that Texas-sized donut.
Yeah. And then the last stop, unfortunately, Las Trancas. Great Mexican street tacos.
Oh, yeah.
If you got a chance, get the one at Chicharron. You don't normally get offered Chicharron tacos. Get it. It's fantastic.
And then obviously one of my favorites from Mexican street style is barbacoa.
Yeah.
It was so juicy, so tender. And again, I just love the texture of barbacoa just being completely shredded.
Yeah. Yeah, and all the tacos were fantastic. And we were bouncing information off of each other that those tortillas, flavorful, held together very well. Perfect vessel for all of the proteins that we picked. So yeah, it was all tremendous.
Overall, we definitely enjoyed everything that we tried on this super short, super quick Austin food tour, but we have to come back.
We're going to be doing some more videos from here for sure because there are so many spots. There was a time where we were driving down one specific street. I can't remember the name of it, but it was like food spot, food spot, food spot, food spot. It's like, yo, there's so many food spots. It's just tremendous.
So many places to pick from, so little time, so little belly space.
Yeah. So if you enjoy the content, please do us a favor and go down there and hit that subscribe button. Just helps to build our community here on YouTube, as well as hit the notification bell. Just drops you a nice little notification letting you know that we drop new content.
And guys, come on. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, what are you doing? It is free. And then don't forget to hit that like button and then comment down below. Have you had the opportunity to try out some of Austin's diverse eats before?
Yes.
And if you haven't, what of the places we've tried interest you the most?
Yes.
And then don't forget to follow us on our Instagram, Michelle Jose Food and Travel.
Yep. And as always, we're going to be having links to every single spot that we tried out in the description below. So if you're going to be making a trip to Austin, you can check out some of these places.
Yep. All right, guys. Till the next time.
All right.
Bye.